and then the rest is history. And then you learn a little bit of.
For me, it was Jackie and Bruce Lee.
For you, it's Jackie and Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
For me, it was Jay-Z and Kanye.
Look at that.
And a little bit of Ray Charles. maybe
Ray
some,
Charles.
maybe some Stevie Wonder. You know. Okay. Let's bring the noise.
Hello, one.
Hello, many.
Welcome back. Dumplings and Sumtings. We back in front of you. We back in your airways. And you see your boys looking good. I am Mr. D, followed by
Mr. T.
We bring you the dumplings in life, and hopefully you learn something on this auspicious occasion. We celebrate
Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year. CNY.
Yes, sir, CNY on the second day, actually. It's not the first day, but second day.
Nice to be here, bro.
Nice that you put up your best look.
My sound full.
I hope it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I too, my 2-year-old, or maybe longer than that, much older than that, but older traditions that I'm willing to try and to bring back. Try to bring back.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. When we bought this in Malaysia,
yeah,
I was skeptic. I wanted to look like the rush hour scene when you put your two hands through the sleeves of the shampoo. But this still looks good though. Even though it's a little tighter, I really like it. Yes. I really like it. I know it's not as authentic as you wanted it to be, but
no stress. I mean,
it's a nice soft introduction.
The next trip, this is a pre-made piece where the size are not determined. I guess we could always take your measurements, and I make sure when I go home and we'll get it tailored, get it a nice one, pick nice materials.
Buttercream.
What size is the waist?
Let's go in. Get your hands off me. All right.
Yes.
Gratitude, bro.
Gratitude.
We got in some trouble.
We got in some trouble with our main, our big G.
Yeah, one of the OGs.
The OGs. I mean, of course, we might have mentioned his name, but all in all, I believe we gotta have some consistencies in reminding ourselves who our number one fan is. And funny enough, he had to remind me. I say, hey, you did some shout out, some gratitude, but where's my name?
What's his name?
His name is Manu. Mr. M.
The guy who every time listens to our pods, he sends comments, very good constructive criticism.
Comments. Yes.
Honestly, great fan.
Our good friend. I mean, of course, he's not just a fictional person online. He's our close friend.
Yeah.
Who listens to us.
Well done. Hope you hear this, Manu. Next person on my side.
Yeah.
I did not shout out my good friend Alex, aka
Alex. Yes.
Goose or Ghost. I'm messing up her nicknames, but she's a very, very avid listener. She always looks at it. There's one time she messaged me and she said the Arnold line that we say all the time. Yeah. Yeah. So
what about?
She listens to the pod and I didn't give her flowers last time.
Okay.
So, what's going on, Alex? Yeah, man. Chinese New Year's. And we have some dumplings.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely store-bought dumplings, but you also experience some of those good ones back in Malaysia.
I love this, bro.
Eventually, over here there are some as well. May not be the same as dim sum. They're dumplings. Dumplings and dim sums are two different things because dim sum stands for. Dim sum is actually a Cantonese word. Dian Xing is Chinese Mandarin, and they mean like tidbits.
Okay, like small treats.
Small treats. It's like tapas but Asian. So dumplings is part of dim sum. And over here, dumplings is just one form.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I found
it's kind of like just to interject.
Yeah.
You say this often.
Yeah.
You say Wagyu beef.
Wagyu
beef.
Yeah.
Thank you
Wagyu.
for the correction.
What about Wagyu?
But the translation of Wagyu is beef. It's like your name, Chai, which means tea.
Yeah.
So it's like you say
And you
beef.
found a definition of Wagyu.
Yeah, it's beef.
Oh.
So it's like you say beef.
Oh.
Like
Yeah,
how
it's
people
like
say,
chai tea.
like chai tea.
Yeah.
This is-
Okay.
So,
Well, the
but
more
I, who am I to mess up your
the
flowers?
more you learn.
You know?
No, Wagyu might have been Wagyu stood for beef in Japanese. Wagyu is not Chinese, I assume.
Yeah, it's Japanese.
Because Gyu is new in Mandarin. Gyu, Japanese, new is Mandarin.
Nice.
So Wagyu stands for two words. What is Wa? I don't know.
Let me see something. You have something on the right side of your eyebrow.
I got something on my
That's
right.
your left eyebrow.
Left or right eyebrow?
Right eyebrow. I said
Might have
that.
been a scar.
No, it was just
No?
a little flick. Let me see.
All right.
You Gucci.
All right. So Wagyu stands for something beef. What Wa is, I don't know. But Yu is always new. So Wagyu might have not been Wagyu beef in Japan. They might have just call it Wagyu, and then the Americans call it Wagyu beef.
Yeah.
For some reason.
But I always knew that means like the highest quality. Of
Correct.
beef.
Me too. Same.
You know, the marble when you cut the beef looks.
Yeah. The marbling they call it.
Yes. So
Outstanding. Funny enough, you know.
I don't have the trained eye for it because for me, as ghetto as it might
Any
sound,
nor-
I might be like, it's beef. Beef is beef. You know.
Any normal person would
I've
have-
seen it. It's pretty.
Yeah.
But how much is the taste going to differ? I need to try. My palate needs to be adjusted a bit
I say it's an acquired taste. I recently bought one for myself.
more. Paps, look at you.
I treated myself.
You got Wagyu pockets.
I got Wagyu pockets.
Wagyu pockets.
I tried one. I was tempted here somewhere in Munich at a butcher. I bought myself a steak. Woo! It kicked. It was.
So
It's very fatty,
You made it yourself at home?
I cook it myself. Yes.
Nice.
I just do it a little medium well.
Put some butter
I would
on
like
it.
you to try it eventually. Next month maybe. I will just treat us to one. Then we're gonna try some.
On the topic of medium well.
Yeah.
Remember, please, as we continue this conversation, please
Yes.
remember I came with a kind of closed mindset with certain types of foods.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in a household where
Everything's cooked.
everything was done well done.
Well done. Yeah.
It's only because my brother's a chef.
Yeah.
He kind of opened my eyes up to medium well, and now I like medium well. And even when I come here,
Yeah.
I've had conversations with you where you've eaten
Rare.
rare.
Rare. No. I won't bring rare to you. But I'll.
Hold on.
Yeah.
When I first heard you talking about eating something rare or raw, as I would say, in my mind, I felt like it was a lion at the safari. You know, you just cut off a piece of meat that still has blood
And
dripping.
then you just biting through.
But-
it's not blood dripping.
Yeah, it's
red.
just
Yeah.
red meat.
Yeah.
I still don't have the palate for it.
Yeah.
I still like my stuff medium well or yeah. I like my stuff medium well,
Right.
but kudos to you, man. It's actually a very big thing in different cultures to have raw meat.
Forgive me. We're still adjusting ourselves for this pod with the phone. Let me just take a quick look.
We'll be right back after these messages. We good?
Yes, we're good.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're not blocked.
I am good.
We back.
I'm blocked. Not blocked. Okay. Yes. Beef.
I'm trying my
Yeah.
dumpling.
Let's go in for a bite of this called siu mai or shao mai. What does shao mai stand for? I do not know.
What type of meat is this? Tastes good though.
It's beef.
Ah, perfect. Perfect segue.
Perfect segue. Yes. Shao mai is always this kind of dumpling
It's actually very tasty.
that is formed like a cup. They usually roll up the beef, minced beef, and then they wrap the skin around it. It's a dough skin that wraps around the side and forms like a cup, and they steam it. So the form looks like that. It's like a meat in a cup.
Okay.
In some cases, some dumplings will be wrapped completely closed, like a little teardrop shape. But
this
yes,
case, no.
this is
It's tasty.
shao mai.
It's nice.
Yes.
For Chinese New Year's, I have a question. What is the typical culture in i.e. China or Malaysia or anywhere that
That's a good
Chinese
question.
people gather, I know, remember when we went for the Moon Festival,
It's a
for the Autumn Festival
communal thing.
in Malaysia, when we
Yeah.
were there during the Autumn Festival,
We were outside the park. We were walking around. That was in
Yeah.
Penang.
and for example, there were the lanterns, there were the space cookies.
Correct.
Space cookies, yeah?
No, moon
Moon
cakes.
cookies.
Moon
God
cakes.
damn it.
Ain't no
Moon-
cookies. Ain't no cookies in Asia.
Moon cakes.
Moon cakes.
And we went a little bit down the history of it. Do you think you know anything that you could probably enlighten the listeners, the viewers, on what happens during Chinese New Year?
Well said. I probably again still could not tell the whole story, but I have some parts of it that I still remember, components of the story, where again it could or could not be a mythical story, or maybe it should be a mythical story where a village or multiple villages in China in history were were disturbed by a beast, a flying beast or a dragon, and they were constantly threatened, and to chase away the beast or the dragon, they light up crackers. They light up firecrackers to chase them away. And apparently the color red has something to do with it as well.
And the animals?
There's no animal, is just symbolically, but most important is the noise, the get together, and the color to chase and to bring to chase the beast away and to bring fortune to the people. That's the short form of it.
You wouldn't dive any deeper?
I wouldn't dive any deeper because I don't remember.
You don't know butcher it. I think that was
butcher
good. But alright, my question is, where does the year of the cat, the year of the dog, the year of the goat, where does that come from?
What's that word? Zodiac.
Zodiac.
Yeah.
So that has nothing to do with Chinese New Year?
Zodiacs have nothing to do with Zodiac, to Chinese New Year. Although it might be a separate component, because the zodiacs, you look at it annually, and it always changes in a cycle of 12. There's only 12 beasts in the zodiac calendar.
Okay.
Was it 12?
Funny fact.
Yeah, 12. Yes.
When you look at the origin of fire, yes, we know the caveman times.
The caveman fire, yes.
But like the development of gunpowder.
Yeah. Apparently it was Chinese.
It goes back to Chinese heritage for firecrackers.
Yeah.
So when you said crackers, I was like, oh wow, look how everything is just connected.
Come back in full circle.
Full circle.
I mean,
how fire, and now it's like an integral part of our life. We can't function without fire.
That's very interesting because I mean, the modern warfare.
That's my last one.
The modern warfare with guns and gunpowder cannons.
Kaboom.
Mostly the kabooms. They come from the Westerners. As far as I can remember, like history doesn't tell me. First came the Chinese with the kabooms. First came the Westerners with the kaboom. I never knew that the gunpowder. If gunpowder came from China first, what did the Chinese do with the gunpowder in the beginning?
They were experimenting with it for firecrackers.
It could be.
It was for firecrackers.
I mean, it's all
but
assumption.
maybe the firecrackers were to ward off these
curses.
These curses, these beasts that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It might be. Again, that's a possible.
If you hear something different, send us a message, write a comment, and we will talk about it.
It's a possible place to dive into more stories about why or how it come about, how they came about.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Chinese New Year. Fun fact or not, I don't remember. I didn't know it was Chinese New Year. My dad had to send a picture.
And
my parents sent a picture.
So you just remembered?
Wish you a good Chinese New Year.
And you're like, oh shit.
And I'm like, okay, maybe I should now plan this pod.
I love that you messaged me and you said, let's wear our some foods, bro.
We gotta suit up because it's Chinese New Year.
We look good.
Yes.
We feel good. We have a Chinese culture in the Caribbean, obviously.
Do you ever see Chinese celebrating Chinese New Year in Trinidad?
You see, the thing is, alright, let me tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
Chinese heritage in Trinidad and Tobago, or Asian, Southeast Asian heritage in TNT, started after like after slavery was abolished, and Chinese came with like people from India as well under the British rule as indentured laborers. So they came to work.
What's an
indentured laborer? Is somebody who they came from a different country to work in this land, and they were promised that they would be compensated in some type of way,
right?
Either with land or with finances, blah blah blah.
Okay.
There was a large ship that came from China, a large ship that came from India,
right?
And people stayed after that phase was over in history, and the Chinese have definitely grown in the area of groceries and textiles.
Business.
Yeah, business, entrepreneurs, major entrepreneurs. Sorry, I have some flies coming out of my plants. No. And yeah, so like obviously they brought their cultures with them, and they've also adapted to local cultures. That's why we have some foods with some Chinese his types of Chinese historical foods, but with like Caribbean seasonings and whatnot.
Right.
And get ready for it. Sometimes people in TNT, they put ketchup on their Chinese food.
Yeah.
Blasphemy. But
which is perfectly fine, I think.
Nah, when I go to a Chinese place
when I was
back home,
yeah,
and I see TNT people put put ketchup on their Chinese food, I look at the owners and I look at them. They provide the ketchup.
Yeah.
But you would never see them put ketchup on their Chinese food.
I believe it's not just a Trini thing. It's not just a person who's non-Chinese or doing that. Even the Chinese, sometimes they do it too.
Ketchup.
I mean, possibly.
Listen, let me tell you something. I've never seen anybody
dipping your dim sum in a ketchup sauce.
I've seen it in vinegar sauce, soy sauce.
Yeah.
I've seen the sauces.
Yeah.
Ketchup, no. Outside of TNT.
I mean, Asians, we're kind of fond of ketchup.
Really?
Yeah, a little.
So why do I see faces of disgust?
But mustard probably not a thing.
Maybe that's why.
Dipping your dim sum in mustard would have been strange. But ketchup works. I mean, we have ketchup.
No, don't get me wrong.
Or variants of ketchup,
I'm not talking about the high class Chinese restaurants.
No. Regular.
But I'm talking about like
folks.
the regular store that you go in on the side of the street. They definitely have ketchup and mustard next to the soy sauce.
No, we have ketchup and something else. We have ketchup and chili sauce.
Chili sauce as well, yeah. Chili
both reds. We don't have a red and yellow. We have both reds.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think I wouldn't put the blame on people. Remember we had a conversation about you putting mustard on pizza.
And ketchup.
Mustard on a pizza, ketchup on a pizza. I mean, I would have done. I definitely have done it when it was Pizza Hut days. Back home.
We spoke about that. We spoke about it.
Yeah.
That's why I say char siu kai fan. So
char siu kai fan. Yeah.
That's like one of the most popular dishes for like on the street. For like if you're a laborer.
Chicken and roasted pork.
Yum. Give me that char siu. I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and you say that well, and unfortunately, when I won't say unfortunately, but it's just the time wasn't there. Would have brought you around for street food for some char siu kai fan, but we were in restaurants.
Yeah.
But char siu kai fan.
Even though we didn't get all that street food.
Yeah.
A part of me is glad because every other person who I spoke to who went to Asia.
Yeah.
Told me that they came back with like.
Upset tummy,
or they had a bit of food poisoning.
No.
And I said,
yeah, I
had none of that on my trip. And that's when I thought of you because you took us to like some
really
reputable
not like
places.
street food. I would say this restaurants which are open, like you have a facade that is partly open and then it's partly outdoor, partly
it bleeds
indoor.
out onto the street.
The kitchen is indoor, but you sit
outdoor
in open, like with regular fan ventilators.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you have a restaurant setting.
I ain't gonna lie though, Penang. There was a bit of sketchy places. We sat down and we ate.
In the night, that one was like a.
Like I saw some street critters.
Yeah.
And I just didn't raise the attention to you guys because I didn't want to be like.
No, that's normal. Yeah. That's a usual sight in Malaysia. That is true street. That's just a vendor on the side of the street. Although they were covered by shades.
Yeah. We have that as well.
But that's street.
Yeah.
That's food. That's street vendors. We're not talking about a restaurant that is in a building with an open facade.
When you come to TNT, I need to introduce you to something called doubles.
Doubles, yeah.
It's something that we created in Trinidad and Tobago.
It's like
it's on the street.
Yeah. It's
to the point where people say it tastes better because of the, I don't know, because of the dust in the air.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. We weren't at these roti places in Malaysia. We weren't at an Indian restaurant. See, we missed that part. We call it mamak, which is Muslim Indians.
Oh,
they're basically Pakistanis or Bangladeshis. Mm-hmm. So they run these restaurants and they have rotis. They have all the rotis that are very similar to what you have.
You're in good hands when you come, man. You're in good hands when you come. Yeah. Like I told you, my friend Mondri said it. Anyway.
What did Mondri say?
Remember when we spoke about Lewis Hamilton? He told me to bring you.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Chinese New Year. So dragons, beasts, red color, firecrackers. Technically now would have been the right time, but there's not enough. Not many Chinese here probably, and also according to German regulations, probably we're not allowed to play with crackers at this point of time. I think the only time allowed to play firecrackers would have been New Year. That's it.
You know, I don't partake in fireworks anymore.
What do you mean?
There was years ago when I was a teenager, I injured my very close childhood friend with a firecracker.
Ooh, you pointed firecrackers at your friend?
I didn't point it at her. I could tell you the story.
All right.
But long story short, I was known.
Yeah.
My brother and I, we were the only two boys in our street.
Okay.
So it's just girls lived in our street. So we were the boys. We used to make firecrackers. We used to buy firecrackers.
Yes.
And we bought so much firecrackers at one point in time when you go to the fireworks store that you might get a free firecracker from like the owner.
Right.
They'd be like, here, take this complimentary one. This is a new one that we have. And we got a new product that we did not know, free.
Yeah.
And after we were done with all our fireworks for New Year's, we lit this new firecracker and nothing happened. So I was like, it's a dud. No wonder it was free.
Right.
Dud meaning like the gunpowder is dead. The gunpowder is not sparking. So I just threw it into the grass.
Yeah.
And nothing happened. I kid you not, bro. It was such a delayed reaction. Maybe like 20 seconds went by.
Yeah.
And then I just saw from the side of my eye, like the grass is starting to light up.
Oh, yikes.
And then all I remember all I remember is shouting, duck, to all my neighborhood friends that were there. And all of us ducked except for one friend of mine. And she got it, boom, straight by her eye, right underneath her eye, bro.
Yikes.
A little bit again, a millimeter again, maybe, a centimeter maximum, that would have effed up her eye. Because her face was swollen and I felt so terrible. This is New Year's Day, the first day of the year.
Damn.
And bro, at that moment, I told myself, I done with firecrackers.
You still see her when you go home?
Yeah, she still has a scar.
Damn.
But I mean, I'm my best friend now. But we good now. But I put on my firecrackers.
Yeah. All right. That's very noble of you.
But yeah,
I mean to take it in full responsibility.
Nah, I felt terrible, but because the screams.
Yeah. That followed.
What? And at that time I didn't see exactly where impact was.
Yeah.
So I thought it was smack dead in the eye, you know.
Did it just hit her or did it actually pop right in front of her eye? Was it like a boom?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Okay.
Yeah.
But from the way it sounds, I think it might have not been a boom.
No, I remember her screaming, bro.
Yikes.
Let's go and get her mom.
Imagine the boom it would have
carry her home.
Crack her face open. Scary.
Good times.
Would have scarred you for life.
Has scarred me for life. I don't do firecrackers anymore. Would I still, if I have kids, let them have a firecracker experience? Yeah. But under a bit more supervision.
Yes. That's fair. I mean, can you imagine the New Year's in Berlin where we read? I don't know about you. I saw the news about people getting hurt, places getting burned up.
Yeah.
There were ambulances and police.
It's ridiculous. I have nothing against firecrackers.
Dispatched. It was crazy.
I do think do it responsibly. Like I see some people.
Damn right.
I don't know what it's called. This firecracker that has the long wooden stem that you're supposed to plant into the earth
and then let it shoot in the sky.
I see some people hold that.
Yeah.
And sometimes they point it, and I was like, bro.
Sometimes they even point at each other.
How dumb are you?
Yeah.
You know, like.
You know, I mean, for lack of the better word, it sound to me it's like a hooligan behavior.
Yeah, it's like you come on, like this is the only day you get out, so now you have to do all the
All these
most
crazy
foolish
things.
things.
Yeah, and then teenagers putting the craziest cherry bombs into trash bins. I mean, I've done that. Guilty enough. I've done that. Do you know what cherry bombs are? Or like football, they call it the cherry bombs.
Yeah.
Put it
I
into
used to make fireworks, bro.
put it into the bin and then blows the can open.
I used to make to the point. I used to make fireworks, bro. I could talking to you about it right now, and I'm still getting excited to make fireworks. You know, I used to.
How do you even make it? I can't imagine making.
We used to get All right, quick segue before we move.
Yeah.
We used to get. I don't know what you would call it, but it's like these. You know, like when you go to the club.
Yeah.
And they like to make somebody feel very special at the club who orders a bottle to like a table, and they put like these
little flares.
These flares.
Yeah, correct.
Like there's this one we used to call them. It's like a sprinkle type of flare. You light it and it slowly burns down.
Correct.
But you can hold it. Kids can hold it and they can play around with it.
Yeah.
I used to break that up.
And then you
fill that into a cork from a plastic bottle.
Right.
Take another cork, put that on top of it, seal it with some tape around the side, some cleaver tape.
Okay.
And then create a hole on the top with an ice pick, and then put one more non-broken flare inside and light it until it goes down into the two corks.
Yeah, and what happens?
It heats up and it explodes up and it explodes out.
Okay.
I used to really love to do that, bro.
Damn.
I used to love it. Good times.
Damn, you're a chemist.
Says the guy who likes pyro stuff.
I just play with fire. That's it,
bro.
But I would like constructing with gunpowder and all that stuff. You're just building a bomb yourself. I never tried that.
I don't think you could say that on YouTube.
Well, I say a miniature firework. Firework.
Do you know that? Remember when we watched the movie Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
Do you know that the Nobel Prize comes from, I forget his full name, but something Nobel, and he's the guy who made dynamite.
Right.
And when they saw how destructive dynamite can be, they created a Nobel Prize to give people some type of incentive to try new experiments.
Right.
Where they could also be getting this Nobel Prize, where it's like one of the top prizes for a creation.
Right.
You get me?
Right.
But long story short, whoever Nobel, I forget his full name, we could check his name now, but the guy who created dynamite, after he created dynamite, because dynamite could be constructive and destructive,
correct,
as you know.
Correct.
But the destructive side was so devastating that they created an incentive to let other people create new ideas,
right,
where they can get Nobel Prizes.
So Nobel Prize was a result of
a very harsh experiment.
No,
or a good experiment that could be harsh.
It was a result of the invention of dynamite.
Yeah.
Okay. So because someone decided, okay, we gotta award somebody for his dangerous creation, then we name it Nobel Prize. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That is a segue.
Alfred Nobel.
Hence Nobel Prize.
Swedish.
Right.
Alfred Nobel.
Okay.
He created dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of dynamite.
Yeah.
You know, it's another explosive conversation topic.
Hit me.
Baby, one more time. Remember when we had a conversation about interracial marriages?
Yeah, or relationships for that matter. Interracial.
And you and I had a neutral stance, and we wouldn't be in PC. It's because we generally felt like we are neither for nor against either mixing the blood or keeping the blood the same.
It's a matter of opinion. It's
or preference. There's a dark topic about fetishizing. Am I saying this correct?
Fetishizing, yeah.
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 We didn't talk about that.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a word. We tend to label things, but fetishizing is one of it. It's fetishizing can also equal to objectification. You're objectifying something that you like, and you build an obsession and passion towards it.
Is that, how do I say this, man? do we give that a pass, or is that like still not?
It's
cool?
being human, I say. We are gearing towards it because of the age of media. Everyone's projected an image of obsession, or of something to have strong passion towards.
Like for example, I'm from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
When I was younger, there was this mindset of you want a better life,
Yeah.
marry a European or American
All right.
Caucasian woman,
Yeah.
and you go away and you would have a better life financially.
In some ways, people do that.
The people still do that.
Yeah.
And it was almost like that is the get out of jail free card, And also these European women or Caucasian Americans would come to the Caribbean and enjoy experiencing local men.
Yeah.
Is that still, what am I trying to say? Is that still this type of objectification that you're talking about?
Is it should it be frowned upon?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Should it be frowned upon?
Should it be judged? I mean, at the end of the day, it's just judgment from
who's judging? The locals are judging
from the eye of foreigners, of people who are not experiencing that firsthand. Of, I don't know, if it's a Caucasian women or Asian women going to the Caribbean to experience local men, it's always the men from these cultures are judging them. Like I'm an Asian, I look at my Asian friend experiencing blackness, and then I'll be like, they can't get people from their roots and decided to go and experience somebody else.
Yeah. I think that's the segue I was talking about when we talked about mixing the blood.
That's the argument.
About keeping it as pure as possible.
That's the argument of that's a very traditionalist argument.
Because how do I say it, man? When I was younger, I guess I was influenced by the thought of, these people come to the Caribbean and they try to take away the men, but these men are voluntarily also going.
Exactly.
And now that I have crossed the waters,
you have to take a boat.
I can literally say I've met guys who are fetishized.
Yeah.
But also, I've met women that they are genuinely going to the Caribbean to have a fun time.
Yeah.
They meet somebody and they like the energy, they like the vibe.
Yeah.
And they maintain conversation and connection. Somehow or the other, the person, male or female, would find a way across the waters. If they help them out, well, they help them out.
Yeah. That's it. As simple as it is.
Yeah.
I am not innocent to this matter as well. I mean, I grew up exposed to the American media. To me, the most hippest thing, it's Black American culture. I grew up with it. I mean, to us, best movie was Rush Hour. And then I grew up, firstly I was in American punk rock, and then slowly my friend got me onto Jay-Z.
I feel I have to sit like this.
Got me onto Jay-Z, some Kanye, and that was it. And then the rest is history. And then you learn a little bit of.
For me, it was Jackie and Bruce Lee.
For you, it was Jackie and Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
For me, it was Jay-Z and Kanye.
Look at that.
And a little bit of Ray Charles. Maybe some Stevie Wonder, Stevie Wonder was the voice of Mulan.
What are you talking about?
You know Mulan cartoon?
Yeah.
Mulan get together with this guy, this commander. What's his name? Shit.
The handsome guy with no
handsome
nipples.
Man. Yeah, the handsome man. And then at the end.
Or did he have nipples? I don't know. I can't remember.
The hair and the nipples. By the end of the movie, Mulan, and then Stevie Wonder.
That was Stevie Wonder's voice.
What's that song? Shit.
We are men.
No, not that song.
Oh, okay.
It was a very romantic ending, and then it was a celebrative part of the ending.
I can't remember. I need
it
to
was
watch Mulan
Stevie
again.
Wonder. You gotta play Stevie Wonder
Oh my
song.
goodness! So it's Stevie Wonder was acting as a Chinese guy.
It was Stevie Wonder at the end of the ending track. It was nice.
Cool.
So I think something about the one. It was a romantic end. So, but yes, funny enough, American culture. I wasn't into cowboy. No cowboy, no American.
My dad was a huge.
To me, it was R&B and hip hop.
My father used to love to watch country westerns.
Yeah.
What?
Wild Wild West thing.
Yeah, as a kid, I had cowboy boots.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, as a kid, I had cowboy boots, and my parents couldn't get me to put on clothing, but I was always in my cowboy boots. I have pictures.
So
just running around in like underwear and cowboy boots.
You had a thing for cowboys.
Well, technically, all our things as children is influenced by our parents.
Yeah.
At the very beginning.
That's fair.
You know, you don't even know which football team to support, but your parents would buy you whatever club T-shirt they are fans of.
Yeah. All right. I mean, fair. So since your dad is a fan of the Wild Wild West, and then
he got me like a cowboy outfit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the topic of then, you see, that's like preference. You know, your dad has preference. I got preference. I grew up with that. I'm not I'm not innocent of that. So, what I'm trying to say.
As far as the objectification.
I say.
It's a preference thing.
You kind of build yourself around some kind of icon. And I remember, I don't know if I should speak of it or not. Maybe I can a little bit, just to touch on it, that the Caucasian women that you encountered, some of them were really I think it was a story of you at a Nürnberger airport where she was telling you everything she wants, she loves about Caribbean culture.
Yeah.
And then you say you were a little weirded out because she's all up in your.
I'm glad that you brought that.
All up in you on that.
Let me get comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm fine with interracial relationships.
Yeah.
Absolutely not a problem.
Right.
I'm rubbed a bit the wrong way if someone who doesn't share the same culture as me,
or same origins as you,
or same origins as me, is extremely.
That must have been a fat pigeon. Shook your balcony.
Yeah.
All right.
Is extremely is a bit too interested in my culture.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like, why are you so interested in my culture? That he
or she does not even share part of.
It's always a she.
Okay. Or she.
She is.
I don't judge.
Okay. Just make it very clear.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes me wonder sometimes, why are you so invested in my culture? It's fine if you're curious.
Yeah.
You're curious about me. This is a new guy that you've never interacted with. But
so
when you so invested in the culture, where to the point where you telling me things about my modern culture that maybe I don't even know, like the newest dancehall songs or the newest Caribbean songs.
Right.
I'm just like, why are you so invested? It makes me wonder, like, what's your plan here?
Right.
You know.
How does she want to marry you?
I've met wonderful Caucasian women here in Europe who
are curious.
I've met the curious ones and I've met the too curious ones. The too curious ones make, to me nowadays, I would say is a red flag. I would be like, why are you so interested? For example, mixed babies is a huge conversation for women, bro. Like,
yeah.
This aesthetic of having a mixed child.
The media is projecting that.
Yeah. Or, for example, being down with like the hip black American crowds that you just described.
Yeah.
It's fine if you like the culture a little bit, but if it's to the point where it's a bit obsessive, that's where I'm just like, what is this going on right now? You know, that's where I get a bit cautious.
Yeah.
If I meet somebody who just likes me for my energy and my vibe, and I just happen to be how I look, and they happen to be how they look,
right,
we could jive.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody who's so fixated only to look for this specific type of genotype, now I'm just like, what's your point though? Like, what's the mindset behind this?
Well, I say it's just
were you that genotype in a past life? I don't understand.
Maybe it's just over exaggerated passion for it.
Yeah, bro, but like, what? All right, my I'll get a bit triggered. My argument is, don't just be by my side for the cool, hip, fun things.
Yeah.
But when we have to discuss serious things that is happening in current affairs,
Right.
I hope you don't have the stance where you are now neutral, distant
Yeah.
on the
Yeah,
topic.
that's true.
But when it's the new Kanye or the new Jay-Z song,
you're in it.
No, you're in it.
Yeah.
No. We can't. I can't do with that kind of
Damn right.
that hot and cool type of tango. That is where I start to get a bit. That's why I start to be like, what's your purpose?
I would say, you put up a good argument, in that sense, but
For example, I could tell you something. One of our mutual friends. I remember when the whole BLM thing started years ago.
yeah,
One of our and there were marches and gatherings. One of our mutual friends, Malaysian. I remember I felt I felt a way about the whole BLM thing, but I didn't have anyone to talk to in Germany about it. Not as many, because majority of my European friends are they don't have any type of African heritage.
Right.
So when it was happening and they were having protests in Germany, nobody contacted me to make any kind of, hey, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
What can I do as a friend? Like, nobody cared to talk to me about it. Maybe they thought about it, but they maybe felt a bit ashamed, like they don't know to bring it up with me.
Yeah.
I give them that grace. You dig?
Yeah.
But when it's time for something jubilant, something fun, something exciting,
they immediately jump on
now they contact Daniel, and that rubbed me a wrong way. You know, I started to have some dark thoughts, and my mom was like, "Nah, don't look at it like that."
It's not like that. I mean, it's just trend. I will tell you this. People are easily influenced by trend, and they just jump on it. Whatever ticks their boxes. Like BLM, some non-black people also jump on BLM because it's a trend.
Because it's a trend, not because they authentically care about it.
Correct. I truly think
it's a cool thing to do right now.
It's a cool thing to join a community.
Yeah, you want to feel like a part of a community.
I will say that I don't say BLM has its purest intention at heart. Partly they are, partly they are not. I think at the end of the day, politics will always be politics. I stand for equality and with consideration. But I also think, at the beginning, when it suddenly BLM became so loud, and then you look at it, you think, okay, we gotta get in it. And then through time, you look at it again, you analyze, okay, what's the trajectory of BLM? You notice little holes. You notice some biasness. I mean, to me, BLM sounded like it come across a little bit like how you say, keeping it in the blood, keeping it in the hood.
It should have been only for black people.
Projecting biasness into society. I'm not saying I'm saying it from an opinionated view. I know. For sure. At the end of the day, everybody just has to be equal. But in reality, there's always competition, and then when you can't compete, and then you use a political view to justify it, it can be a bit difficult. I mean, American black diaspora is a very complicated situation.
I mean, it's not just American though; it's happened here in Europe as well. But what can I say? I didn't mean. Sorry. Yeah. First of all, I didn't mean to make the podcast go so dark.
Yeah.
Point and case.
But
I meant when we spoke about the objectification.
Yeah.
That is normally where my mind would go if I am too objectified by a particular suitor or some random person who wants to be a friend.
Yeah.
Is it that you are going to be here when something gets difficult? Would you also stand by my side to talk to me about it? Or you just here for fun situations, but you don't really care on a deeper level?
Yeah.
That's why I used to get a bit cautious about certain people who are too enthusiastic.
That's completely fair. I think that's a very justified view, and it should be, because at the end of the day, it's easy to jump on a trend. If somebody's obsessive with you because of you being the cool in this time, that's when you need to check yourself.
Have you ever seen the movie Get Out?
No.
Really?
Should be.
I thought you were a Key and Peele fan.
I am a Key and Peele fan. I think I watched another movie that is not Get Out.
Bro, you need to watch Get Out, bro.
I think it was Up or something like a UFO thing.
I didn't like that one as well.
I didn't quite like it.
There's a new one out with the girl with Lupita.
That was not.
That's
new.
not Get Out.
It's not new, but it's been a
recent.
While. Yeah.
But Get Out is older.
Yeah, Get Out is older.
But it's good, bro. You need to watch that.
Yeah, I mean.
When you watch it,
I need to jump on it. It's a thriller, no?
Yeah, it's a thriller. When you watch it, I think you would empathize, understand a bit more my point of view. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but just know that it touches on the topics that you just discussed about this trend thing. You dig?
Yeah.
You might like it.
Trend. We see it because we were seeing it behind the lenses of someone from the outside. We can view it, but I also understand the people who are fighting for the rights inside. They are in the war. I won't call it a war, but they're inside the fight. They have the lenses.
Look how the amount of words that we've said in this episode. W word you just said, the B word we said earlier with the Nobel Prize. I don't know if we're gonna get in trouble for this.
I don't think so.
All right.
I think we're speaking it from a very neutral view.
Okay.
And we will never forget of our privileges or where we are, but we also need to speak in a sense where it's logical, and we understand the fight. We understand what's in the fight, but sometimes we also take a seat back and say, hey, look, you continue to fight, you wouldn't want to be in the fight, in the center of the fight. Remember
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart was forced into the fight, and then he's like, I don't want to be here.
Do you remember when we once spoke about what Malcolm X said, if we stand for nothing, you fall for anything?
Yes.
Sometimes I feel like that, like when there's something political, like what you just mentioned, in any type of arena.
Yeah.
Any type of arena.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like if I am neutral, I am not doing enough.
True.
Sometimes I feel like I need to have
That's true.
a side. Even though it's not true, because I can be neutral, but then when you're neutral, people around you look at you like, I don't know if you're an ally or an enemy. Yeah.
You're right. That is also true. Standing for something, but doesn't mean that you have to be overtly standing for something. You know what I mean?
I follow.
Overtly. Like I say, I stand for opportunities for Asian people. Like, they shouldn't be judged because they're Asian. If they perform well, let them have the chance. Black people, if they perform well, let them have the chance. Done. That's my bottom line. Not because how they look and then you give them a chance. Rather, it's because how well they perform, you give them the chance.
That's interesting because, man, it's such a nuanced
That's a very
area.
deep topic.
Yeah, because
that's a very deep topic.
For me, sometimes I'm just like, maybe he didn't get a chance, so let me give him a chance. You get me?
Yes.
Based on what I only could imagine someone going through, who probably hasn't had a lot of grace in their life.
Yeah.
So I would say, let me give this person a chance over this person because I assume this person would have more opportunities than this person. So sometimes I can be a bit biased in that area. I'm not even going to sit down here and tell you like I'm always equal about it. Sometimes I can be a bit biased, you know?
It's just being human. And then we have to be aware of it and just say, hey, look, we are aware of this biasness. We do what we can. But, to me, it's always like this. When it becomes political and they always say, fight for equal rights. But I say, I can't side with that because I only side with the people who are capable.
Run that by me one more time. The last part lost me. The people who are capable, what does that mean?
People who are capable, meaning no judgment of of your racial identity.
You mean like if they can
They
can get the job done, then fine.
Then yes.
Okay,
If
cool.
they can't get a job done, then I'm sorry. Then it is what it is. I completely understand that, and I also feel myself. Sometimes maybe it's an imposter syndrome or not. I don't know. I feel like I'm always not enough, but I also want to fight that stereotype where I don't want to be judged by how I look.
Yeah.
And I want to
Unfortunately,
perform.
Unfortunately, because of us being like minorities in this land that we live in, that is always going to linger in the background. As much as we try to show that we are good enough, it's always going to be, but he is from here, or but he originally is from there. But I get you, bro. I get you. Can we do a little segue?
What? Sorry?
Can we do a little segue?
Yeah, please. I think we should. I think we have strayed too far from the festive mood.
No, I'm still. I want to dive a little deeper into something.
All right. Okay. Please.
You said you saw. You told me off camera that you saw the new Alien Romulus movie.
It's not new.
It came out like a year ago.
Okay, fine.
A year ago.
Yeah.
I recently saw it as well last week. And yes, it's just like any Alien movie that you've seen, you know? Right. If anybody who's seen the movie Alien, they know like you get in contamination spaces.
You get this silly cosmonauts that decides to put themselves in harm's way.
Yeah.
Bring the alien in the ship.
And then aliens impregnate them and
and pop off the chest, that's it.
I don't care about that.
Right.
I would like to talk about the AI that was in the film. If you haven't seen it, why Romulus, are you still behind?
Romulus, was it the one with a group of young people?
Yes.
That shot themselves into a ship, the abandoned ship. Yes.
Bro, follow with me.
Yes. All right.
And there was a AI cyborg black guy.
Yes. Now I remember. Yeah.
Right. What am I trying to say right now? I'm trying to say, even though we've seen Terminator, and we know since we were kids about Skynet.
Yes.
Watching Alien is like the modern day of, you are a human, but you have a robot which is a cyborg.
Well, who's also sentient.
Sentient with a artificial intelligence, right?
No, sentient meaning they have human qualities.
Human qualities. They look human. They interact with you like they're human. To the point where the main character went to save this.
The owner or the person who took care of him.
No, well, the girl went to save the sentient being.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the movie?
I vaguely.
Jog
my memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, it's a robot.
Yeah.
Leave it. It's a robot.
But he is her favorite companion.
Get an ex-companion. You go on. I'm saying you're going to risk human life.
Yeah.
For non-human life.
Yeah.
You get me? The movie carries itself in such a way that we are about to start to look at robots or sentient beings like our equals. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like that message.
Jog my memory. How did it end?
It ended where
how did she?
There was a fusion between an alien and human, and there was a baby born.
Yeah.
And the main character, I'm trying not to kill the movie for anybody who hasn't listened to it, bro. But the main character, obviously took out this baby, and the main character, when I say took out, I mean killed the alien baby. But when it was time for them to escape onto another planet, the argument in the beginning of the movie was there's only enough pods for humans. Mm-hmm. But only because the main character has a AI type of sentient being with them.
Also enough hibernation pod. You meant
yes,
the hibernation pod. Yeah,
and they put this fake human inside the pod to go and survive in another galaxy with them. So I'm just like,
was it fake human? No, he ended up putting her in the. He trapped her in the.
No.
In the sleeping pod.
No.
Oh shit,
bro. Your memory has disappointed me.
I'm jogging. I'm
Long story short, I don't know how I feel about that, broski.
Right.
At which point, for example, when I used to walk my dog with dog owners, in TNT, people look at, they love their dogs, but they also look at their dogs like, I am human and this is a dog.
Yeah,
right,
giving sentience to the animal, which I mean,
so like if you are attacked by other dogs in a neighborhood, that if you're walking with your dog, your dog is normally going to try to fight back.
Yes,
but you as human, I was taught when I was a teenager to safeguard yourself and leave the dog, because you can be mauled as well.
I understand.
And there's always been that hierarchy. Yes. And now in the movie, it's talking about... Now, I'm not saying to leave your dog. Don't get me wrong.
Of course not.
But if you had to choose between being mauled and unalived, or letting your dog fight other dogs to protect your life,
right,
which one would you choose? Some people would stay. I don't know. I think I would try to safeguard myself and then try to help from a distance or something like that.
Well, which is a personality type, depending on people. I mean,
some people will definitely stay.
Some people willing to just jump in the fire and save people.
Save the dog.
Save the dog.
Maybe I'm not there yet.
I mean, if I were to choose a human being...
Can I finish my point, please?
Oh, please.
My point is, I'm not sure if I'm at the space here yet where media is taking us as far as sentient beings and artificial intelligence, where I look at them as my equal.
Right.
And that concerns me for the next generation.
Yeah.
Maybe my point of view may change, but a woman, the main character of the movie, going back to save, in my opinion, a cyborg, I was like, dog, this don't make no sense to me. Save yourself.
But there's also, like I said, she's bonded to him.
How? You're making it sound like if they're born... I mean, okay.
Emotionally. It's just a flaw of... No, I won't say a flaw, but it's a part of being human, that we are emotional. And that's just part of our life. Unless you're getting trained to understand when to take the emotional component away, you will always be bonded. I have friends who are really, really bonded, who are really emotionally affected when their dogs passed away. I too, actually.
I as well. Don't get me wrong. Even though I made the dog, it was a terrible example, but I'm just trying to say, like, when the plane is crashing, they tell you as mothers, put the air mask on yourself first and then tend to the child.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm talking about in this case with this
machine, this cyborg.
You put yourself back in danger to help a non-living thing.
Think of it this way. She has nothing. She has no family to go back to.
Fear.
So that also comes back to I put
my argument back down.
Yeah. How much you have in your life where you're willing to, when you have nothing. That little something you're willing to give in.
Fear.
If I have nothing in my life, I am willing to jump on any in the path of a train. I mean, of course, I'm not gonna survive that, but you know what I mean. I'm willing to jump into a fire to save something that was dear to me.
Fair enough. I've never experienced that type of loneliness.
Unconditional sacrifice.
Ooh, you just dismantled my entire premise, dog. Wow.
I mean, I had some of those moments as well in the past.
You had a sentient being?
No, I don't. But I mean, I know how it feels when I have nothing and there's a little ray of hope.
Yeah, but technically, big dog, you have something. You have family.
I have family.
This main character had no family.
It's a psychological.
There's a difference between being alone and feeling lonely.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I mean, I have my family. That is given. But what I meant is that feeling of knowing, you feel like there's nothing for you. Feeling lonely and being alone is also similar. I mean, they go hand in hand. It's in tandem. I think she's alone, but she has her family, which are her friends, her comrades. but she's willing to give it all to this cyborg that she was left behind by the father or whatever.
I think the father died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what I'm trying to say, yeah, she's feeling attached emotionally, has developed.
So it has to do with the emotional attachment.
Correct.
Regardless of if it's a living or non-living thing.
Correct. She has built this.
I'm talking like if I'm this cold type of person.
I don't think you are.
But I'm very emotionally attached to a lot of things as well.
Yes.
So I guess
you're speaking from an experience where you didn't experience it. You don't know.
There's a life and death situation.
Maybe if this cyborg were to become your other half.
Wait, what do you mean?
Your other half meaning, like I'm talking not like a man and woman situation. I'm talking about just your psychological being. I believe there is a psychological bond somewhere that you will never know unless you experience it. I don't know too, but psychological bond is beyond our understanding. In some cases they really do. The cyborg has psychologically imprinted on her that she would never give up on him. That's beyond our understanding, I believe.
We would like to thank you for watching our episode of Dumplings and Sumtings, ladies and gents. If you don't know by now, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Send this to your friend and send this to your enemy. Send this to your ex, send this to your mommy, send it to your papi.
Send it to your Chinese homies out there.
What's that?
There's a red packet.
What's that mean?
The word stands for good fortune. And this is what we give out during Chinese New Year. Normally from married couples or married parents. But I just do it for a gesture. This is from me to you.
Oh, big dog.
And the word says good fortune.
Have money in this?
There's money in it.
Serious?
Yeah.
Blah.
I mean, I'm not that rich, but I give you some. It's a small gesture.
Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.
Happy Chinese New Year.